Ahoy and konnichiwa. This is your Discourse Syndicate. The captain is up in the crow's nest watching us with his spyglass, and Kinetics is off doing other stuff. So we have commandeered the vessel, and the rest of the world party is underway. This is Wake Up Hex, and I got to introduce these characters around me. Below me, first, a gentleman who is going to be filthy rich, but for now is only filthy, barely crafty.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Barry. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm fantastic.
Excellent.
Speaking
Beautiful.
about, being filthy rich, I think it's a good time for you guys to check out my referral link, don't you think? Please, do scan my QR code.
It's modest. Yes.
Filthy,
I don't know.
filthy, shameless, rich.
Shameless.
Soon to be.
Shameless.
Thank you, guys.
Look
Real
at that.
quick, scan it.
Amazing.
Scan it now. Right
Actually,
now.
you can lick that. You can lick the rainbow on it. It's beautiful. And to my immediate right, actually stage right, your left, my right, would be
This hand.
a man whose hair is the curtains that are matched only by his carpet, Peter the Gray.
Hello. What's up?
Beautiful.
I'm doing fine. You don't have to
Man.
ask.
Our man in Slovakia. Excellent.
Yeah. You remembered where I'm from.
Yes.
Some people get it wrong.
Oh, I'll quiz you later. Don't worry. Captain says that we're all Germans and Australians. So can I have a show of hands? Who's Australian? Who's German? Okay.
Ich bin Deutsch. Ich bin ein
Oi,
Deutscher.
Excellent. And finally, under Peter, a man who's going to make damn well sure that we don't get scurvy because he's our limey, Henry Hex.
Hi guys.
No cold blimies, no sip of tea.
None of that.
No
we've
King
moved
George
on in the world.
III stuff. No. Okay. Thanks.
Let's save the Queen.
God save the Queen. Okay, good. Well, all right, guys, we got a fun time planned for you guys today. We've actually prepared next to nothing, but we thought it would be very interesting if we could kind of be serious about this at the very beginning of the show, and then pull all stops out for the second half. Just bear with us, because this is going to be recorded for our posterity and perhaps yours. The issue about getting to know coiners and newbies that want to know about Hex never gets old. So maybe you'll hear our spin on it today in just a couple minutes each to kind of brush over the basics. So I'll go first. A lot of you don't know my background. I've been in internet security and cryptography for 25 years. So I'm a bit of a skeptic when it comes to certain crypto projects. And I lived through, earlier than the last bubble. I started selling trading equipment for trading platforms, and they all requested to get Bitcoin loaded onto that platform. And this was 2015. So you know that institutions have been very interested in this a lot earlier than you thought. They've really wanted to be trading Bitcoin, even going long only before they could do the CME. They have always been interested in Bitcoin. And now the unprecedented monetary policy paired with everybody kind of endorsing this new rush into Bitcoin on the big institutional side, it's become a compelling reason to find quality in the market. And by quality, we believe Hex is truly best in breed. And what does that mean? You're going to hear a little bit about that from these other gentlemen. But to me, it's something that actually, as Warren Buffett criticized Bitcoin of doing, would actually create more of itself. And in Hex, we have an immutable contract, right? Called a smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain. And when you lock up your tokens, which is only one half of the equation, you have a token itself, and you lock it up. You decide the amount of time that you're going to lock it up for. You decide everything. And as you lock it up, the longer you lock it up, the more interest that it bears. And the interest is paid in kind, in actual hex. And that hex could go up in value, depending on what the market decides it's going to be valued at. We believe that it's going to go up very high. And in the smart contract, the share by which you are going to get your interest out of the greater pool, which is something that Henry may discuss in a few minutes, that share rate, that piece of the pie value does go up in hex terms continually throughout the entire length of time that the contract will survive. And we believe the contract is designed to survive for 100 years. Who knows how long it's going to survive? So I was looking for something like this. And a lot of the ICOs, early days, they promised a lot of these types of things that would be able to be staked like this, locked up and bearing interest. But in 2017, 2018, a lot of these projects just didn't perform. And I was left holding a whole bunch of these coins in various crypto wallets that just never amounted to anything. Well, Hex is completely different. It's gone the opposite way. It's survived the hard and fast inception. It's still around. It's bearing great amounts of interest, and it's appreciating in value in the market. So we're winning in several different ways, holding on to something of quality, something of value, and something that is going to endure. Also, something that has been tried, true, and tested in terms of its security and economics audits. This is, again, something that a lot of the projects out there, and I'm highlighting the word projects, do not complete. They don't complete audits, and there's always something left, out of whack, or they simply don't get that done. Bitcoin, for example, has never undergone an audit itself. Hex has gone through 3 audits. So we know that it's quality. Anyway, the 2 different types of audits there are security and economics audits. And Hex has undergone both of those. So I'm really happy to be part of this type of crew, this product known as Hex. And what does quality attract? I think that quality attracts quality people. And a product such as Hex depends on its community to survive and grow. And it is amazing to me that when I came on board with Hex day 1, that I wasn't alone. I didn't know that there were so many people interested in Hex like I was, but nobody brought us together until there were streamers out there where we could actually congregate, so to speak, in the chat. And there were a lot of people that were vocal in the Twitterverse and in all the other chat platforms. And it turns out that there were tens of thousands of us, and no one is out there doing this type of thing. I think that I could call 100 or 150 of these Hexicans my friends. And I don't call anybody from any other of these projects my friends. They're kind of my adversaries, right? I want to sell against them in the market. I want to dump on their heads. I want to get my gains and go away and go do something else. But Hex is different. When you make a commitment to lock up your tokens, your Hex, for a length of time, you're committed. And it breeds some kind of camaraderie amongst very intelligent people that we're in this for the long run. So we might as well be cool to each other and be friends and support each other. Barely Crafty below me, I couldn't stand him when I first met him, but now we're the greatest of friends. So it's a proof positive that, you want to meet and get to know these people that are engaged in what seems to be a fairly mundane and boring it's a CD, a certificate of deposit, but existing on the blockchain. When you say that, it sounds very dry and very strange and very technical. But remember, this is a translation of the second most popular bank instrument in the world, now brought into life, into existence by a visionary that we all admire and are grateful for having met, Richard Hart, who created this whole thing, but is not a CEO. He is not a representative of the product, other than the fact that he's the founder. He had it made. He designed it, and he had it put into effect. And now it's a living thing unto itself. Nobody promises anything here, and the contract simply continues to do what it was supposed to do. It is immutable, it is unchangeable, and it is not made of spaghetti code like Bitcoin has been. So again, in a nutshell, I love this community. I think it's unique. We're not here to hard sell you into the community, but should you be interested and still skeptical, we invite you to look deeper into Hex, maybe look us up, maybe, see some of these types of streams, maybe get into the chat and try to poke holes in Hex. We welcome that. We like the debate. We like to talk to intelligent people, and we seem to have attracted intelligent people. So welcome aboard if you so wish to join us. We'd love to have you. So I would like to turn the mic over to our next speaker. Barely Crafty is going to lead us through his take on Hex.
Okay. Can you hear me all right, guys?
Turn it up a little bit.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yes, no?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Cool. I was just worrying about that whistling. I thought it was me. Maybe my fans are being picked up by the mic.
No, I think somebody's got a whistling snot. That's not what it sounds like.
Thank you. And by the way, Papa B, I'm glad that you changed your mind about me. I'm not there yet. Maybe I'll get there.
Okay.
I still hate you guys.
Thanks. Thank you. I'm working on it.
Brands just pointed out that well done, Papa, for successfully running the stream, and I just want to say that's a bit early at Brand to be saying it at the moment.
The jury's still out. We haven't finished.
It's still a long time for it to all go wrong.
I paid Brand some.
You have plenty of chances to mess it up, like real good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, real good.
Anyways,
all right.
I'm supposed to cover staking, basics of staking. I'll do my best. Hopefully, I'll make it within like 5 or 10 minutes. No, I'm kidding. I'll do my best. So, Papa B already mentioned that you decide how much Hex you're willing to stake and for how long. What is the time frame you're comfortable with? So the minimum staking length is 1 day, 1 full day, and the maximum is 5,555 days, which is about 15.2 years. Pretty damn long time to lock some financial energy for, but we Hexicans, we love it. We love it. The longer, the better. So the important thing is to understand for people that are new to Hex is when stakes actually start. When is the rollover? And that is midnight UTC. And I have like this structured in a FAQ format, more or less. So like simple question, simple answer. I thought that this would be the easiest way to do this in simplest terms. So what happens when I stake my Hex, right? For the whole duration of the stake, your Hex is locked. It is literally burned by the contract as soon as stake begins. And you cannot do anything with it. You cannot move it. You cannot sell it. It just sits there locked. And it earns interest. And because when you stake your Hex and it is burned, instead you're getting shares. And shares are that magical thing in Hex. We call them our ASIC miners, because actually shares, amount of shares you are holding onto actually determines the amount of rewards you're getting for your stakes. And currently, 1 T-share, which is 1 trillion shares, it earns about 5.7, 5.8 hex per day. So depending on how many shares you have in your holdings, you can just make a quick calculation how much hex daily you're earning, and that amount is dynamic. It is not constant. It depends on many factors, and we'll try to cover all those factors today so that you get a basic understanding how it all works. It sounds complicated, but it really is not. Once you get it, it's like with riding a bicycle. Once it clicks, oh man, how it's so simple. It makes so much sense. It's so beautiful. Yeah, beautiful is like, I use that word a lot when it comes to hex. So we can do a quick example. If you stake like for 100 days, right? And you stake enough hex to get you 10 t-shirts, for example, right? So 10 t-shirts times 5.8, it's 58, times 100 days, it's 5,800 hex. You will earn approximately at the end of that stake. So it is really pretty simple to make those kind of like approximate projections as far as staking goes. Of course, the longer the period, the harder it gets. Daily payouts have two components to them, and I'm not going to cover those in detail. So daily payout consists of inflation, and staker class gets hex inflation. And I think Henry is going to talk about that in more detail. And the second component to daily payouts are penalties paid by other stakers. And I think Peter is going to cover that in a second. The next question I have here is, how many shares do I get for hex when I stake it? And the short answer, you need to like engrave in your brain. The shortest answer I could come up with is less and less, period. End of story, right? But a little bit longer answer to that question is initial share ratio. So the cost of a t-share in Hex ecosystem was set at the very beginning at 10,000 hex per t-share. And currently, we are sitting at almost 17,000 hex per t-share. And just let it sink in for a second. We are approximately 15 months into the project, and already we've moved from 10,000 hex per t-share all the way up to 17,000 hex per t-share. Papa B mentioned that share ratio keeps constantly going up. It's in code, and we know hex code is immutable. It's set in stone, so it will never change. The share ratio, the price of shares, will never go down. It will keep climbing up. And how does it happen exactly? Why the share ratio is rising constantly? Why is that? And it's one of my favorite parts, one of my favorite aspects of Hex, actually, because basically, whenever any stake in the system is resolved, and by that I mean it's being ended by the owner of the stake, or someone else runs good accounting on that stake. We'll get to that later. I don't want to mix too much into this point. Basically, whenever stake ends, let's simplify this. Whenever stake ends, the contract runs a simple check. And this actually took me forever to understand. And we all have to thank Dev Kyle, Firebrand, Steph, all other super smart, genius members of community that helped us understand this. Contract, when stake ends, contracts runs a simple check. Contracts knows how much staked hex was staked. So what was the principal? What was the length of the stake? How much hex that stake earned? All that data is available to the contract, and it runs a check. If principal plus interest earned by that stake combined together, staked for the same amount of days, will allow you to get more shares than you had in that stake. That's a no-no for the contract, and it adjusts the share ratio. The chances are that between the start of your stake and the end of your stake, there are many, many stakes ended in between, and the share ratio might have been bumped up several times already. So if even without adjustment, you are not able to repurchase the same amount of shares with your interest plus principal, your stake does not affect the share ratio. Otherwise, it does, and it bumps up. So at the best, to simplify this a little bit, the best case scenario for you, the absolutely best case scenario for you is that your stake so happens to affect the share ratio, and you will get the same amount, the same exact amount of shares, not a single share more if you're going to stake for the same amount of days. If you combine principal plus interest and stake it for the same, let's say 100 days, you will not get a single share more. You would have to stake for longer or put more hex in to get more shares. And that is beautiful. This mechanism, it simulates compounding interest, and it is there in Hex to make sure that small, shorter stakes will not be able to outpace the longer stakes. That longer always pays better in Hex. That is very important to also engrave in your brain and understand and remember. Longer pays better in so many ways in Hex, in so many ways. Yeah, so how much, though? We mentioned, we've talked for quite a bit about length of stake, but how much Hex can I stake? And there are no minimums. As far as length go, 1 day is the minimum, 5,555 days is the maximum. And with the amount of Hex, there are no minimum or maximum. You can stake 1 heart if you so desire for 1 day. But currently, we're dealing with some gas fees issues on Ethereum network. So you need, whenever you're making up your mind how much Hex and for how long you are willing to stake, just keep those gas fees in mind, because at the beginning of the stake, you need to pay the gas fees for starting your stake. And at the end of the stake, you need to run another transaction to end your stake, which is more expensive than starting. The ending of your stake requires more calculations, so it is a bit more gas intensive kind of.
Yeah, we found that recently. We found that recently to be true.
Yeah, painfully.
Yeah,
but does it? The other question I have for new people that are new to Hex, is: does it matter how long and how much Hex I stake? And yes, it does. It matters a lot, because we have 2 staking bonuses you can utilize and take advantage of in Hex. The first bonus is bigger pays better, and the second bonus is longer pays better. They are pretty much self-explanatory, but there is a huge difference between those 2 bonuses, which is actually another one of my favorite aspects of Hex, because they sound similar. Bigger pays better, so the more you stake, the more shares you get on top, and longer pays better, so the longer you stake, the more shares you get. But with bigger pays better, you can get up to 10% more shares. And I'm not a math guy. I think someone mentioned that it is a quadratic bonus. Basically, it caps up at 10% if you stake 150 million Hex or more. You will get 10% more shares. If you stake, I have a few examples noted, so I won't mess it up. So if you stake 1.5 million, you get 0.1%, so you get 1,500 extra Hex when it's effective Hex. It is only used for calculating how much shares you're going to get. So that bonus does not go towards your principal. Your principal is still the hex you're putting in. Those bonuses are only utilized to calculate how many shares you deserve when you start that stake. And to explain the quadratic nature of that bigger pays better bonus, I have a quick few examples. So if you stake 1.5 million hex, you're only getting 1,500 hex, effective hex more, right? If you stake 15 million hex, so 10 times more, you're getting 150,000 more effective hex for that calculation. If you stake 150 million hex, you're getting 10%, so you're getting 15 million. So you see, it's a larger percent from a larger amount, so it's quadratically growing the amount of extra hex you're getting. Is it simple enough, guys? Am I keeping this simple?
Yeah, you're keeping it really simple. Let me tell you, you started with the word quadratic and my eyes glazed over.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. It's as elegantly simple as you want it to be, and it's as down the rabbit hole technical as you want it to be. That's the beautiful thing about Hex. For more staking fun, I think that Crafty has really shown himself as an authority on this, and he's available on Twitter and
Are you cutting me short
Telegram.
there? Are you cutting me short?
Yeah, I'm cutting. I'm getting out the
We're gonna
shepherd's
start-
crook is coming out.
We're going to start the Barely Crafty math show. That's
Exactly.
coming live to Twitch soon.
Yeah,
I'll do the full thing, the full explanation on my time then. Okay.
No.
Wait. I need
Crafty.
something
Let me
to say to you.
explain.
Let me explain.
You don't have the ability to have graphics like you normally do, right?
No.
So you're going deep, you know. I don't want to cut you off. I just want to give Peter a chance to speak. Peter,
Yes.
do you want to take it from here?
About this nice mechanic called penalties, because Hex is a analog of real world CD, and real world CDs have penalties, but those penalties get paid to banks. In case of Hex, it gets paid to us. So in a way, Hex maybe punishes those people who don't who don't do what they say, and rewards those who, if you are staked for 15 years, then yeah, they will make you, the Hex contract will reward you for that. So in a way, we can call this a truth engine. I think this is really awesome about Hex, and in a way, it makes you hold. If you are really staked for long, that this incentivizes you to hold and really reap the rewards of holding, because the most gains ever made with crypto, and Bitcoin is the poster child for this, is holding, because no one ever could have made more ROI than holding Bitcoin from probably day one, or the day they were introduced into crypto, into Bitcoin. So yeah, I think this can be summarized in a term, truth engine, that we are sometimes using, and yeah, I like it very much. Probably the most of Hex crowd. And also something that Papa B pointed out is that our consensus code is locked in a smart contract, and it's been audited 3 times, and it's not a spaghetti code like Bitcoin, because if you made some change in Bitcoin code, you have to basically audit the rest of the code for errors or bugs or something that could affect the other parts of the code. So we have everything locked up in a smart contract. The inflation, basically everything about Hex is in smart contract. So yeah, I think this is an awesome part about Hex, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
Cool.
Great. Henry?
Over to me. So I wanted to really start off with the reason why I kind of got into cryptocurrency in the first place. And it's probably the same reason most people get into cryptocurrency, which is to make mad gains, which Hex has pretty much done over the first year. But the probably best thing about Hex that's kind of come to pass whilst I've been in it for this year is the actual interest paid. So I'm earning more money now from interest than I was earning in my previous job. So what I just wanted to kind of touch base on today is kind of APY and inflation within Hex, and you know what that kind of means. So what APY is the annual percentage yield, but what to most people that probably means is just the interest you get paid. So if we kind of look into the real world, how can you make money on your money? And the old way of doing that was to put your money in a bank, and the bank would pay you interest. But obviously now you're lucky to get 1% interest if you put your money in the bank. The problem with that really though is the fact that inflation in most countries is more than 3%. So your actual purchasing power is going down for leaving your money in the bank. And you've also got counterparty risk. So most banks run on a fractional reserve, which means they don't actually have all the money. So if something majorly goes wrong in the economy, will you be able to get your money out? A lot of people listening might already have cryptocurrency. So in Hex, which is probably one of the greatest things about it, is the fact that you get APY. Most coins do not give you any sort of return on your investment by just holding your coins. There are platforms out there where you can send your coins to and get an APY. Obviously, with that means though, once you've sent your coins to someone else, you're no longer in control of them, and there's a massive counterparty risk that if anything happens, you can't get your coins back. And at best, I mean, I've been looking around, at best, you're looking around potentially a 6% APY. So if we then bring Hex into this, at the moment, if you stake Hex for 1 year, you're looking at around a 13% APY. And with Hex, though, you keep control of your coins and your keys. So that removes the counterparty risk of sending either your cryptocurrency or money elsewhere. The even better thing with Hex, the longer you stake your Hex, the higher the APY you get at the moment. So, for example, if you were to stake your Hex for 10 years at the moment, you get 37% APY, which sounds like a crazy number, but it is happening right now. And I don't know of anywhere else in the world where you can get a 37% APY on your money at the moment. There might be there, but I don't know about it. So, you know, how does that work? How does Hex give you that return? So the inflation rate in Hex is 3.69% a year. So Hex, that means that the Hex total supply inflates by 3.69% a year. That inflation is paid to the stakers, and that's how you get your APY. So that does mean that if more people in Hex stake, then that APY will go down. But the good thing about that, if that is happening, that means more and more of the supply is locked up. And if you look at supply and demand, that should mean long term that we see price increases due to this. Just for an example, if 100% of Hex is staked, you will still earn 3.69% APY, which is still an okay return. It's very unlikely that 100% of coins will ever be staked. But just to put your mind at rest, if that were to happen, you still are getting 3.69%. And on the flip side of that, if only 1% of coins were staked, you'd get 369% APY, which would be very nice, but very unlikely to happen. The really probably better thing about hex inflation is most cryptocurrencies have inflation. Most inflation gets paid to miners, whereas in hex that gets paid to stakers. So in hex, because that's paid to stakers, there's no incentive. Well, no, not incentive. There's no cost in you producing your hex, whereas in most other coins, the cost of electricity, hardware, and things like that mean that they're having to sell into the market, pushing down the price. So that was kind of the thing on that. The other thing I kind of wanted just to mention quickly was around the transparency in hex. So hex probably is the most transparent cryptocurrency on the market. You can literally track everything that's going on the blockchain. And because the majority of trading in hex is done through decentralized exchanges, it's even more transparent than most other cryptocurrencies, which are, their trading is done through centralized exchanges where you don't know what's happening. You know, they can do wash trading and all these other things in there. There are some great community built resources that you can use. I mean, I know a lot of people probably listening at the moment know about these, but, you know, in future, if anyone else is listening, there's some great things out there. So the ones that I use myself is hex.vision. Hex.vision probably has every single statistic you need under the sun, if you know how to use it, which I can't say I do massively. But the one I really like to use on there is the staking features to show when future stakes are coming out. So you can look at that and kind of put your stakes in according to that. Graph Hex.rocks is another great one for like how much the T-share costs, how much the T-share payouts coming out. And obviously the best resource probably available to all hexagons at the moment is the Staker app, which obviously you can download onto your phone. You can add your own wallets in and see your stakes, but even better, guys, now obviously is the release of the smart wallets where you can buy and stake hex on it.
Can we have fun now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can have fun now. Okay. All right. That's all done. Okay.
That was short.
Can I finish my bit now?
No.
In the green room.
Yeah. You know, I think Crafty, we need audio visual stuff, right? So I think you should prepare the analog version because we can't put up any graphics while we're not hosting the stream, right? So you got to pick up your own stuff and do your printouts like old school, like when I was on my dot matrix printer. So I've prepared something because it's shill time now. Apparently, none of you other guys get fan art, do you? No, I don't think you do. Do you? Not yet.
What?
I do.
Fan art. You don't get any.
Fan art.
You don't get any people like, people sending you stuff because you're so cool. Not yet.
Oh.
Crafty, certainly you. No, nothing. Henry, nothing.
I cannot show.
You got a few
all the time.
Are they? You can't show them on a children's
Definitely
show
not.
like this. All right, so I want to do an unboxing. I always wanted to do this. So is this coming in backwards? Can you see this?
No, it's fine.
Great.
All right.
Great.
All right. Jack Hexagon. I got to talk about her. She's a great person. She's I guess a hunter. She kills things and she strips them bare. She eats them. She's got a monster vehicle that she does donuts in the snow and takes no guff from no one, but she's also a good artist. And she was very kind. By the way, this is a picture of her. And apparently she's married to Rian Johnson, which really sucks because he ruined Star Wars. Screw you, Rian Johnson. All right.
Is that you with the beard on the picture?
That's him that's me. No, look, this is a picture of Rian Johnson. He looks like he's screwing a dead turkey. This is awesome too. I guess they killed it and they're gonna defile it before they eat it, which is a problem I think that all Americans should not have. But this is a sample of Jack Hexagon's art. This one is entitled "Some Tired Bitch." All right, there you go. Some tired bitch. Next one. My neighbor's noisy pecker. I like that one. That's good. And here's one. This is a pair of nice tits. There you go. Excellent. And then she made me one, and she sent it to me all the way in Japan. I want to unbox this now. I haven't. I ripped it open just so it wouldn't be a long time to open it up. But This is my first time seeing it. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. My tiny cock.
Wow.
Oh, it's not that
That's-
tiny. Come on.
Tiny cock.
It's a
Wait,
bit bluish, you know. You might
Here's
want to talk to the
real
doctor.
sizes back here. And that's going to go right there. Thank you, Jack Hexican. You are amazing. She got an injury recently, so we want to wish her well. You know, get
Do you
better
mind
soon.
putting it closer, like for a bit, closer to the
But
camera.
that's actual scale back there.
Just hold it.
I think Bailey wants to see your cock, Popper.
Exactly.
You want? Hey, you know what? Cock
red
tastes
bit.
better than hen.
Well,
So if you've never had cock before, you should definitely try it. Hi.
It's
yeah.
really beautiful. I'm
It's a
impressed
nice cock.
by-
All right.
by
We're
it.
artists here. We're artists.
Was your color printer not working, Popper?
No, I have a dot matrix from 1984, and it doesn't have any color to it. Yeah,
It
my
took weeks for
kids
you
were
to figure it
lazy.
out.
They didn't color anything. Yes. So what's up with y'all? What's going on? What's hanging? What kind of
It's
problems
just-
you have?
Enjoying the eat feast. Yeah, you know. And
Yeah.
maybe, you know, I screwed up last time. I wanted to do some swaps on MetaMask, and I swapped too much of my ETH for USDC, and it was it's still
Did you not
in
swap it back?
that one wallet. And yeah, I'm waiting for my fiat to hit Coinbase so I can turn it into ETH and
Just pay the freaking ransom and free your coin.
yeah, it's a ransom to miners. The miners go brrr. Come on, okay. I'm
Lovely.
just a little bit salty because of that.
You think you're salty. I've had quite a day, but I'll get to that in a bit. How about you guys down at the bottom? How was your day today?
All good. I haven't really done much.
But you're a
It's
dolphin,
still
so you
going
don't give a
sideways.
shit, right? Yeah.
Not really. Like
Yeah.
just
you
sitting here earning trustless interest is fine with me.
Did you
Freaking
say
sucks.
trustless interest?
don't. Hey, that's the magic word. Trustless interest. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Henry, you've won 50 hex. All you have to do
Yes.
is pay. All you have to do is pay the gas. Just pay the gas.
How do I get it?
This is
Exactly.
What's the
Oh,
ETH
boy.
address then? I'll send you the fees now.
I'll send that to you in the private chat.
What do we get?
50 hex. 50 hex coming your way.
What do we get? Me and Peter. What do we get?
Nothing.
Trustless interest.
You get a scowl.
Trustless interest.
Crafty.
Are
I
we
think
making fun of trustless interest? Come on. Like that's the most awesome thing in the world.
I want my
Better
50
than
hex.
sliced bread.
More than that, more than my 50 hex. I want Papa B to pay the freaking gas fees to send me those 50 hex.
I'm not picking up anything for you. In fact, speaking of gas fees, this is funny. I'm really doubled over in pain today. And Crafty, you'll be very happy to know that I'm no closer to being a dolphin than I was this morning, even though I had a shitload of shit coins that I had cashed in and put it on a centralized exchange. Yeah, put it on a centralized exchange. Used the wrong network to send it, and that centralized exchange somehow wrapped it into something that the other exchange I was sending it to get the better rate somehow doesn't support that wrap token, and it went into you can't have it ever again land. So
And
all my
that
shit coins were
it's called
wrapped
greed.
up,
And
and
it's called greed, and the tax for greed you pay, right?
yes, exactly. It was greed and not paying attention and listening to all the hex streams in my ear while I was trying to do this very complicated, thing. And I was worried about gas, and I was worried about all the right rates. And this is another point.
Mm.
Hex frees you from all this trading and sending and bullshit mumbo jumbo that can leave you with nothing like I have today. And guess where it was going to go? It was going to go into Hex, of course, and it never got there. So the centralized exchange was very happy to give me support. And they said that if they wanted to help me out, they would simply have to exact from me exactly the amount that I had sent in Ethereum. And I said, that's pretty much what would happen.
I remember like in 2017, I sent some like Doge to like the wrong wallet, like from an exchange, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we can sort it out for you. You just need to pay us like $50," and that's how much it was worth then. Yes. So I was like, well, "There's no point." But I was just thinking about it the other day because like $50 of Doge is probably worth a little bit more than it was back then.
Can I go back and do that now?
It was very, very cheap when I bought it.
Yeah, I sent it to an actual. It originated from a hot wallet from the exchange, and they said you have to send us that fee from the same hot wallet that you don't command, and then we're going to send it back to that hot wallet that you don't have any ownership of. And it was altogether fucked up. But yeah, you should go back like years later and say, hey, does that deal still open? Because I know where it's
on blockchain. Just forward the email to them. Yeah, it's still there, man.
Exactly.
It was like a mobile wallet though, and I have no idea what it was called now. So it's just lost.
Oh wow.
So how much did you lost? Too much, or is it just
there.
a small bag?
Don't go there.
Henry, go ahead and answer.
He's all right. He's a dolphin.
Well, mine was worth $50 back in the day, so I don't know. So it's probably like only $10.
Mine was not worth $50. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna flaunt. See, again, it was hubris. I was going to announce it to Crafty tonight of how my staking ladder had expanded, and I was pulling away from him, going for Squalfin extraordinaire.
I'm very sorry, Papa.
You messed up your karma, man. You messed up your karma with those.
I did. I did. It was bad.
Crafting.
I've learned my lesson. I won't do that to you again. I'm sorry, my friend.
Mistakes, guys.
Guys, on YouTube, Spike just wrote, at this point, is it only worth staking with a minimum of $1,000? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Oh, good question. Well,
$1,000.
How much does $1,000 buy you?
It's about like 100,000.
Yeah, about 100,000, but 10% of that's going to be absorbed in gas, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But less.
So you got like 90,000, but how long would you punt that out? At least 10 years, right? And you could make a nice little packet. If you do it 5 years, still nothing to sneeze at. 2 years. So
I think $1,000 any length is okay, isn't it? Because you're not going to really pay more than like, say worst case scenario, you're paying like $80 in gas, right? So yeah, you're not interest wise, you might not do great, but you'll at least be able to get it out. But yeah, anything long term, $1,000 is fine. I think less than that, if you're staking out 10, 15 years, potentially will be worth it. It depends what you think the price of Hex is going to be long term. If you think the price of Hex is going to be $1 long term, then like 10 years out, 50,000 Hex dollars, $50,000, isn't it? So it depends on what the price is at that point.
Not the financial advice, right?
Not financial. None of this is financial advice.
None of this. By the way, you would get for that amount, you would get around probably 15 T-shares. So when I'm staking now, I'm more concerned about the amount of T-shares and the amount of bonuses I'm utilizing, depending on how long and how much I'm staking. And you just need to keep that in mind that shares in Hex, it's inevitable. They are becoming more and more rare and more valuable. So just think about for how long you're going to make those beautiful T-shares work for you and earn Hex for you. Just answer that question. And if think when you will need those funds, maybe, because it's going to be a painful experience when you staked, let's say, for 1 year, and you didn't really need money in 1 year. You still have a job, you're earning, you're fine, and you're gonna restake. You're gonna pay fees again to end your stake and launch a new stake, and the share ratio will be different, will be higher. So you will get less shares unless at that point you will decide to stake for longer, and you will learn from your experiences, previous experiences. But yeah, just it's a very individual thing. I wouldn't try even to advise. It's so individual.
I had this dilemma with two of my friends that both basically staked around €1,000, and like, goddamn, how we are going to split it up. And the best thing we came up with is probably 3,715. So if you split it in 3 ways, and if you need money in 3 years, then fine, you have the first stake available. If something really bad happens and you need a few hundred, then you can unstake it in 1.5 years. That's not so bad. And the other ones, those funds, yeah, just earning interest, trustless interest. Come on, let's do some.
So for an example, like I my friend's birthday today, and I set him up a Hex wallet with I think about 350,000 Hex. So I staked 15 years, 150, and then 100 for 10, and then 100,000 for 1 year. So I think 100,000 Hex will make you a decent return in a year. Again, not financial advice, but I think it will. It's going to cover your gas fees at least, if not more, by the time it gets there. So like that's what I've done for him.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds reasonable.
Mm-hmm. So that's good. So the short answer is yes. It's still fine. The concept of there being meat still left on the bone for people that want to get involved in Hex at any time throughout this entire lifespan of the product is something that Richard baked in. So really, the answer is always going to be yes. I'm probably never going to be at the level that Peter and Henry are at, or even Crafty. Maybe I'll be just this little minnow compared to them, but I'm completely satisfied with what I've done, and I'm reaping the rewards now, and it's real. So you can, whatever works for you, just like you walk into a bank and you say, I'd like to, have that CD, please, for 5 years, and I'm willing to put my money down, and I'm not going to see it again for 5 years, but I'm going to enjoy the interest. You look at the rates that we're getting, and decide if it's for you or not.
Let's not forget that Hex, it's really made for long term, and these long stakes give you exponential rewards. That's what it is. What the economics audit is really about. And if you stake long, it probably not very like a mediocre stake, nothing small like, I don't know, $5 that I don't know. I'm not sure if that would make any sense, but those exponential rewards, it's something that really will really pay off. Because human mind is not built to understand compounding or exponential rewards. It's something you have to do your math and see. So if you stay long, you're good.
And I think you're 100% right, because like when I first got into Hex, I did not think I'd be earning as much from interest as I am. But so it just shows you that you kind of that was kind of secondary, because I was still in the crypto mindset of you just wait for the price to go up and you sell. Now I'm of the mindset I don't want to sell because of the rewards it's earning. So eventually I will take some profit off the interest, but the principal will probably never be touched.
Yeah, that's a nice thing that you have something some asset that creates more value. And okay, the price can go up and down. It can fluctuate a lot because it's crypto, but it creates always more. I actually don't understand guys who are selling their whole stack. Like, why? You can sell just your interest and hold it for the long run.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think everybody's scared because of that big stake, but like that guy, I'm not really interested of what that wallet's gonna do, because I think it will restake, and if it sells, then the price will be really, really low, and I'm going to load up.
Yeah, I don't if it were to sell like that price is probably not staying low for very long, because a lot of people will buy it up quite quickly, I would have thought.
So what's the another fun topic, or
well, I mean,
or is
look,
our time up?
Hey Peter.
Yeah.
Something that we don't have enough of in Discourse Syndicate is arts and crafts time. If you're like me, you've collect a whole bunch of these hardware wallets like this. You definitely should have at least one, right? This one is a inexpensive and very easy to use wallet called the Trezor One, Model 1, right? The problem with this model is not this device itself. I mean, look at it. It's small. It's pretty nice. It's rugged. It's built in Europe. But it does come in a box that is tamper proof. So you have to destroy it in order to get the device out, leaving you with, this loose object that you've got to then secure. Well, I have some crafts for you. You will need for this arts and crafts supplies that are as follows. You need to get one of these like tiny little boxes, right? It's like a pill box or something. You get 100 yen or a $1 store near you. It measures about 10 centimeters by 8 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Okay, you got that. You need a sharp object, a sharp knife. You need a sharp E, right? A pen that you can show up on black surfaces. You need the actual foam that came with the hardware wallet. And you need, I guess, in this case, something sweet like a pain de chocolat tied to a string like this. So what you do is you dangle this in front of your kids' faces, and their handcuffs shouldn't allow them to actually get to the tree, but they'll be trying. And I recommend doing it with 2 children, preferably from broken homes, with no source of sugar or chocolate at all in the house except for this. And so they'll be very motivated to work for you, and they'll take the template and they'll trace it on this this foam board that you also pick up from from the $1 store. And at the end, you'll be left with something like this. It's very elegant, and it'll hold three Trezor Model 1s in it for $1. All you got to do is pay the kids with food. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was a very nice magic trick.
And when's your store opening, Pepper?
I'm sorry?
When's your store opening? When can we purchase these?
Oh, Papa Boner's House of Hex.
Foamholders.com is taken.
Very good. Well, we're not supposed to.
Does it ship to Europe?
Actually, there is a surcharge, and I can get them to Europe. I have to smuggle them in the backside of some Japanese people. They actually can be lubricated and inserted, and then they can mule them over to wherever you are in Slovakia.
Nice.
Peter regrets that
already.
Much success.
I don't know.
So,
I will have a computer especially just for crypto, and just leave it there. Don't touch it. Restake from time to time.
I think you guys should really. Everybody has hardware wallets, right?
I don't. Not yet. I'm.
You're raw dogging it, huh?
Yeah.
That's no good. You really should have You really should have some cold storage, I think, with all of your immense gains.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about it. But one day when the lockdowns are down, I will visit some technology store.
Can you
What do
not
they
just
call
get
that?
them delivered to you?
What
Sure
do
you
we
don't
call
want?
that?
Just, you know how the internet works? You can order stuff, they send it to your house.
His
No, I like
USDC is trapped.
Hey,
You forgot. His
come on.
USDC is trapped.
Don't be hard on Peter. He hasn't. He learned about bananas in like 1993 for like the first time they allowed them in his country.
Yeah, when the Berlin Wall fall and we were allowed to watch TV, then I learned about many things.
Is this your original TV that you got in the Berlin Wall falling down?
No,
Because
no,
it looks
That's
like
state
it.
of the art.
that's something that only catches dust, and yeah, it was in this department, and I don't like it. Sorry, I like it very much. I don't
case you're
even know
wrong.
if it still works. It was never turned on. And when what?
I'm sure the broadcasting, the terrestrial broadcasting company that used to provide it with content is no longer in business.
Well, everything is digital right now. Even the TV broadcast in Slovakia. So I don't think I would catch anything.
No.
Even if there are some outlets, they would not work probably.
Okay, gentlemen, we have 2 more minutes. Final thoughts.
I just want to read this comment by Spike. He said, "Papa B trying to start a security trend of storing your hardware wallet in your ass."
Keystring the wallets. Yes.
I mean, it probably is the most secure place. You know, it's always on you.
Mhm.
Most people aren't going up there. You'd hope.
Yep.
I guess it depends where you are.
Well, you can always try to remember your seed phrase, but
yeah,
I would not recommend. My friend got huh?
Sorry.
Okay, my friend got drunk one day and he forgot his PIN to his credit card, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Now
you can easily forget one of those 12 words. So
I mean, he forgot his PIN to his credit card and he was
Yeah.
drunk, which is a good thing. Which is like the best thing that could happen to him. Like, what do you mean? It's a success story.
he could not buy anything on the second day.
Exactly. But at
When
least
you
he didn't
need
buy freaking
water and food.
some stupid shit while he was still drunk, right?
I don't know the rest of the story, but he just forgot.
Excellent. And with that, guys, we should have our little closing and wish everybody a hearty aloha and see you on the next Discourse Syndicate. Anybody want to say goodbye?
No,
Yeah,
not me.
You want to find
Not
out more
really.
about
Not
Hex?
really.
If you want to find out more about Hex, just go to hex.com. The site has been revamped recently.
It does actually look
And
very
yeah,
good.
you will find a lot of good information there. Just
Yep.
read up, do your own research. And
Excellent.
don't believe 4 weirdos on the internet.
Never.
Never.
Everything that we say is
Why
would you
no
do
advice
that?
whatsoever.
It has to be 5 to be believable. Or it's not
Exactly.
Where
We
is
are below
Captain?
the limit. We are below
And
the
under the
threshold.
auspices of the captain of the Admiral RG3, we wish you all an adieu and see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.